A very good morning, children. Once again, I welcome you all to today's lesson, and it's a second part from your textbook Honeycomb. So, without wasting any time, let's begin. So, this is the chapter A Gift of Chappals, written by Vasanta Surya. So, before we move on with the story, let's do the recapitulation of the first part. So what happened? One afternoon, Mridu went to her aunt Rukmani's house. She went there to meet her cousins Lalli, Ravi, and Meena. Ravi dragged her to the backyard. There, inside a torn football, lay a very small kitten lapping up milk. Meena said they had found the creature outside the gate that morning. But it was kept secret. Amma had a fear that Pati would go away if she knew about the cat in the house. Ravi had succeeded by tact in getting a little milk for the kitten. The children named it Mahendran. It was a fine breed of cat. Ravi gave a detailed account of the cat's family and relatives. He said the cat was the descendant of the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. Meena and Mridu smiled at his cooked up story. The cat was frightened to hear Ravi's sound. He fled from his place. Lali was learning to play the violin. She wasn't doing well. The music master was putting all his effort to make her learn, but she was going completely off the track. Now, Mridu crept up to the window, means moved up to the window to see what was going on. Lalli was sitting a little distance away, awkwardly, means not decently, holding her violin and bowstring. Her elbows jutting out, means extending out, and her eyes glazed, means shined with concentration. There was keen attention, okay, while playing the violin. In front of her, with most of his back to the window, was the bony figure, means the thin figure of the music master. He had a mostly bald head. Bald head means without hair, okay? The head was without hair. With a fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears and an old fashioned tuft. So, as the music master had mostly bald head, okay, with a fringe means the edge, the border was of oiled black hair falling around his ears, and there was an old-fashioned tuft also. Tuft means a number of pieces of hair, you can say, like growing at the base. A gold chain gleamed, means shone around his leathery neck of the music master, and a big diamond ring glittered on his hand as it glided up and down, means moved up and down the stem of the violin, means the main body of the violin. A large foot stuck out from beneath his gold bordered vesti edge. Vesti we say to the dhoti actually. And he was beating time on the floor with the scrawny big toe. Scrawny means with his lean and thin big toe. Okay. So the music master played a few notes. Lalli stumbled, means followed unsteadily behind him on her violin, which looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hands. What a difference! The music master's notes seemed to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of the melody, which means the music master's notes seemed to rise up and, settle perfectly, means establish perfectly into the unseen parts of the melody. It was like the wheels of the train fitting smoothly into the rails and whizzing along, means making noise. As Ravi said, Mridu stared at that huge, means looked fixedly at that very large bee-ringed, means with rings on hand, moving effortlessly up the violin stem, means the body of the violin, making lovely music. Squawk, there was a sound of fear, okay? There was Lully derailing again, means she was going off the track, completely off the track again. Amma, came a wail from the gate, means a sound of mourning, okay? Amma, oh, Ravi, send that beggar away, cried his mother from the back veranda where she was chatting with Tapi, means talking with Tapi. He has been coming here every day for the past week, and it's time he found another house to beg from, Pati explained to Tapi. Mridu and Meena followed Ravi out. The beggar was already in the garden, making himself quite at home, means making himself comfortable there. He had spread his upper cloth under the neem tree and was leaning against its trunk. Leaning means resting, okay? Apparently prepared to take a little snooze, means clearly he was there preparing himself, okay, to take a little snooze. Snooze means short sleep over there, while he waited for the amps to appear. Amps means the offerings, okay? Go away, said Ravi sternly, means strictly. My Pati says it's time you found another house to beg from. The beggar opened his eyes very wide and gazed and stared at each of the children one by one. The ladies of this house, he said at last in a voice choked with feeling, means blocked, with feeling, are very kind souls. I have kept my body and soul together, means kept myself alive on their generosity, means their kindness, because they are being so generous to me for the whole week. I cannot believe that they would turn me away, empty stomach like this. He raised his voice. Amma, Amma, oh, said, sorry, sad his wail might be. Wail means the cry of pain, might be sad, but it certainly wasn't feeble. But it was not at all weak. Feeble means weak. It began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere in his withered belly. Means there was deep muffled sound in his dried stomach and came booming out of his mouth. Means loud voice was there with its few remaining teeth stained brown with beetle chewing. And it was there with its, few brown colored teeth, which was because of chewing of the beetle. Beetle, you must be knowing, it's a kind of plant whose leaves are chewed, as we say pan, okay? Ravi, tell him there's nothing left in the kitchen, called Rukmani. And he's not to come again. Tell him that. She sounded fed up, means bored. Ravi didn't have to repeat it all to the beggar. What his mother said had been easy for them all to hear. There, under the neem tree, the beggar sat up and sighed. Sighed means he took a deep breath sadly. I will go, he said wearily, means in a very tight manner. Only let me have a rest here under this tree. The sun is so hot, the tar has melted on the road. Tar means a thick black, viscous liquid, means sticky liquid used in making roads. My feet are already blistered. Blistered means with bubbles. He stretched out, means spread out his feet to show large pink peeling blisters on the soles of his bare feet. I suppose he doesn't have the money to buy chappals, Mridu whispered to Meena Ravi. Whispered means said in a low voice. Have you got an old pair in the house somewhere? I don't know, said Ravi. Mine are too small to fit his feet, means my chappals. Okay, mine means my chappals. Or I would have given them to him, and his feet were larger than Mridu's and Mina's. So their slippers will also be of no use for him. The beggar was shaking out his upper cloth, means rubbing hard to remove the dust, okay, from his cloth, and tightening his dhoti, means making tight his dhoti to move from there. He raised his eyes and looked fearfully at the road, gleaming. Gleaming means looking bright in the afternoon heat. He needs something on his feet, Mina said, her big eyes feeling. Means there was tears in her eyes, which was full of tears. It's not fair. Shh, said Ravi. I'm thinking about it. Blubbering. Blubbering means speaking loudly. It's not fair, it's not fair. Isn't going to help? In 2 minutes he will be frying. Frying means heating in a pan. His feet on that road. What he needs is a pair of chappals. So where do we get them? Come, let's search the house. He pushed Mridu and Meena into the house. So children, I am sure now that you all must have understood that the gift of chappals was to be given to the beggar. And from where the children will get the chappals, we don't know. So for this we have to stay tuned for the next lesson. Till then, take care and thank you all for watching.